Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we are going to create a blank project with a form. Let's open up Visual Studio. So click on your start and then locate the icon, right click and go run as administrator. So make sure you run it as administrator wherever possible. So once you've got Visual Studio loaded up, we click on the new project link. You can either access it via this way, or you can go to the file menu. There's a file and there's a new project option. So you've got two ways to get to it. So click on the project, give it a few minutes to load up. And once it loads up, it should give you a choice of templates to select from. All right, make sure you got under templates, you've got Visual C# selected, and make sure you've got Windows Form Application selected. Where it's got name, you need to give the application a name. So just going to get rid of the default name. I'm going to call mine my music player. So feel free to call yours whatever you want. If you're using several words like I've done here, I've used 3 words, make sure you leave no spaces between the words. Click OK. And we'll wait for Visual Studio to build the form inclusive of the project. So it will create the project and add a form for us. So that's great. So Visual Studio has created a project and has also given us a form. So inside this form is where we will create our music player. So we need to change some properties of the form. So make sure the form is selected, and on the left here is the properties. You can tell the form is selected because here is called form 1, which matches the name of the form. Okay, so no, that form 1 here is just the text. That title text is derived from this text property, but we know we are in the right. We've got the properties for the form because we know it's form 1 anyway. So let's change some properties. First property, let's change the name. So I'm going to call my music player. You can call yours anything you want, maybe MP3 player, whatever, doesn't really matter. So if I click enter, you can see the name as reflected there. Another thing I want to do, I want to give it a background color. So there's a property here called back color. So click on there and click on this drop down. Click on web and just browse through the colors. Oh, that's black. I don't want black. So browse through the different colors you want. It will give you different lists of colors. I'm gonna go for lime green. I like that color. Next property I want to change. I want the form to be centered. So when you run the application, I want it to be centered when the application starts. There's a property for that called start position. So I'm going to click on that, and the option, I'm going to select center screen. I want it to be centered on the screen when it starts. At the moment, you can resize the form various ways. Okay, if you want, just using these blank squares, you can use that to resize the form. When the application is running, I don't want whoever's accessing the application to be able to resize, to use the maximize button. So I'm going to deactivate that. So this maximize button here has a property called maximize box. At the moment it's set to true, but I'm going to disable it and set it to false. That means when the application is running, they will not be able to use the maximize button. The reason we can resize the form using these little squares is because this auto size property here has been set to false. So we're going to leave it like that so that we can resize the form during the design phase. So currently this is the size of the form. So if I drag that on, you can notice you can see that the property size will change. So you can see the values here has changed. So if I drag this down, that will increase the height, and you see that value has changed as well. I want to manually set this, but feel free to play around with whatever suits you. I'm going to set this to 697. That's the width, and I'm going to set the height to 297. I can change it later if I don't like it. So all right, so this is the size. Also, I don't want the user to be able to resize the form, so I'm going to change this property. This border style at the moment is saying sizable. I'm going to change that to fixed dialog. That way when the application is running, the form cannot be resized. So that's it. I'm happy with the design of the form so far. So I'm just going to exit, just going to save that. Just click on save. That just save whatever we've done. And that's it for this lecture. So in this lecture, we have created the project. We have also changed some of the properties of the form. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.